us to sit around and let ourselves be upset about losing people who never loved us in the first place. It's definitely easier said than done, but the more that we learn who we are and learn our own inherent value, the more we realize we don't need to be upset about being overlooked over people not wanting to have anything to do with us, because a diamond does not lose its value just because people don't want to purchase it, or they don't want to have it, or they get rid of it, or they don't want to have it around. It's still a diamond. Even if someone does not see the beauty in what you are, it doesn't take the beauty away from you. And if someone decides that they don't want to treat you with value, it does not take their value away from you. And when we realize that, we can go through all these stages. We can meet new people and not stake our worth on their opinions of us. We can interact with and try to make friends without worrying that we have to do everything to make these people happy with us, to make these people like us, because in the end, our biggest concern should be being the best version of ourselves we can possibly be. That's not a version that everybody likes. That's not a version that makes people happy with us. It's the version of us that is the person that we were meant to be. And it's as we learn to be this version of ourselves that we will find the people who we were truly meant to be friends with, the people we were truly meant to connect with, the people who are going to love us as we are in every stage. They're going to love us with all of our flaws, and they're going to love us through our flaws. They will help us become better versions of ourselves. They are the people who will not reject you for your flaws. And when you meet this person, it's going to be a person you can't lose, because the right people don't leave you. The right people don't. The right people don't abandon you. The right people don't decide that they aren't going to interact with you anymore because of random decisions or because of anything. When you befriend the people you are meant to be with, you are meant to interact with, then there's nothing that can be lost. And if you lose it, if people decide that they don't want to interact with you anymore, it was not meant for you. They're not the people that were meant for you. And with the beauty of that revelation in mind, we don't have to let it upset us anymore. When we lose things, they were things that were never meant to be ours. They weren't the people who were waiting for us if we imagined this, that we are the main characters of the story. They were never supposed to be the people in our stories. They were just ones passing through. They have their own stories. But you're going to find the people who are meant to be a part of yours if you just continue pushing forward to be the version of you that you were meant to be. All the pieces will come into place. We just have to be patient and love ourselves. Always, always remember to love ourselves, and that our value does not rest on what anybody else says. We are valuable because we are, not because somebody else thinks so, not because somebody else says so. And once you know